I'm Carrie Devra, and I was listening to the other interviewers ask you questions. One of the things that hasn't been asked, you're a very striking woman. You're tall, you're statuesque. How do you physically compare to the woman who you reincarnate, sort of, in the movie Selma? Is she tall like you?
Miss Amelia is quite tall. She's about 5'9", 5'10", so that was lovely. Um, and so,
You mentioned
but
when
more
you...
than anything, she's a big soul. I mean, she's a fighter, um, and she is filled with passion. I think that makes us all larger than life. You know.
Did she share with you what got her into being a fighter?
Yes,
Was there
injustice.
one moment in her life that was iconic that she spoke up and never stopped speaking up after that?
Miss Amelia was always a rebel. She was a rebel when she went to university, and when there are stories in her autobiography where her parents were always afraid that she would be killed, and this is when she was in her teens, because she was always questioning authority and fighting for justice locally, in her community, in her hometown. And so it was no surprise when she went to Tuskegee, and once she graduated, um, literally made a conscious decision to become an activist, an agent of change.
Now, you've referenced faith a few times as you've
Faith?
been talking to people. Is faith equally as important to your character in her life?
You know, I think Miss Amelia is a woman of faith, absolutely. It isn't something I particularly thought about, though. Um,
Well, there's a number of things of divine intervention. Today we're standing here in D.C. We're at the Newseum. The Selma movie is screening, and we have the events of Ferguson and Mr. Garner and Miss Finn going on around the country.
yes.
And this afternoon, the legislators in solidarity stood on the stairs at Capitol Hill. So these things happen for a reason sometimes greater than us. Do you think about these moments before or after they take place, that it was divine intervention?
I believe in divine intervention all the time, and I think we couldn't have timed this movie better. We couldn't have done this. I think it's no accident that Selma is premiering at this moment, and that the voice of Dr. Martin Luther King is being broadcast yet again, nationally, at a time of kind of extraordinary civil unrest,
Now,
where we are demanding change and looking for a leader.
the woman you play is 103, God bless her. You said her a little bit hard of hearing in one ear,
In 1 year.
but she's also lived through social change over the century, and she's gone from a world where there was privacy to a world where there's no privacy.
Privacy.
Does she interact with the internet, and did she have any opinions on it?
I don't know. What a great question, though. But I have been thinking about how would Dr. King's movement, how would it have progressed in the age of the internet? I think that's one of the things that is impeding us from birthing another leader. I think people are afraid. I think if we had the kind of technology then, I don't know if the civil rights movement would have unfolded certainly in the way it did. And I think it makes our next leader, I would be afraid, because it's not just the FBI
Everybody's
that's
watching.
monitoring Martin, that was monitoring as they were monitoring Martin. Everyone now has a surveillance camera. Everyone's address is known.
So if you could pick living today or back in the days of Selma, which would you pick?
I've always envied those who have lived through the civil rights movement, because I think it was the last time in our history, in American history, where there really was a cause larger than the individual. There was a cause worth dying for. Because as I looked at my life, the only thing that I am actively willing to lay my life down for would be my child. I do not yet believe that there is an idea that has been put forth for which I would lay down my life. I envy that period. I envy those people because there's something that's birthed in the human spirit when there's a nobility that is birthed in the human spirit when that has been activated.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.
As one mom to another mom, I understand that the tiger comes out when your child's at risk. You don't think about it.
No.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.